Battleground Battlemaster. Adjacent minions have Wind Fury. Card's so cool, but will it actually matter? I don't
I'm
know.
still on a 1 for this. I can understand why it's good. You stick pretty much
Yeah,
anything, and you can kill people.
yeah.
But you can't really say that about little shitters.
Yeah, it's hard to stick things when I have like a giant awkward 5/5 to play in my hand. Like, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.
No. Try another one. No, try another one.
Next up is Composting. 2-mana spell. Give your minions Death Rattle, draw a card. So basically, Wideboard token support. That said, I don't really like this. I think Druid has plenty of ways to draw cards for token decks. I mean, Druids have full hands very, very often. And this doesn't really contribute to stabilizing a board, which is really what you're looking for most of the time. Once you've gotten that wide board in Druid, you're not necessarily looking for a hand reload. You're looking to terminate the game. You want to kill the opponent. So, Soul of the Forest and those sorts of cards are way better to support. So although this is cheap, I just don't think it really contributes that much to the game plan. Outside of a token Druid deck, if you just played this like on 2 minions, is that worth it for 2 mana? Potentially, but it's delayed, it's passive. Doesn't feel like the kind of things that make card draw good, which is usually when you want to draw right away. So I think this is only a 2-star card.
What? What's the bloody point of review videos anyway? Let's face it, most review videos in Hearthstone get things wrong. You're just guessing what's going to happen with the rest of the meta, and it's a bit of blind luck and a bit of guesswork, and maybe you get lucky. So I spend like 3, 4, 6 hours watching pros go over every single card that won't even see play in the arena. Let's just get straight in to what will be good on day 1 with the 2 or 3 cards that are going to see play. I think the best card in this expansion is Iron Deep Trog, actually. It snuck in under the radar. It was part of the last card dump right at the end of everything. But frankly, in the right deck, this thing's pretty crazy. And what's that right deck? Ice Hunter is already possibly the best deck in the game. And it's been running the 1-mana 2/1 Arcane Anomaly. The one that gets buffed by 1 health every time you cast a spell. Well, you just take that out, put in Iron Deep Trog, and all of a sudden you can go Trog into Doggy Biscuit, into Ramming Mount, and every time your opponent casts a spell and it survives, you get another copy of the Trog. Well, let's say that you don't want Face Hunter. Okay, fair enough. It's pretty boring. Maybe there's a different, newer kind of deck that Iron Deep Trog might fit into. No, it's just Token Druid. It's just Taunt Token Druid again. There's a lot of synergy with the rest of the deck. It goes along with Composting really well. If the minion doesn't get removed, you get another Death Rattle draw card. It works with Guardian Og Merchant to get the Divine Shield, so the Divine Shield gets copied, or the 1/2 survives to get buffed by Arbor Up or Adorable Infestation. There are some newer things I think go into this deck as well. So you'll notice I've got Frost Saber Matriarch here, as well as Mark the Spike Shell. The deck's already got plenty of beasts in it. The Druid of the Reef is actually a beast when it transforms. On top of Park Panther, anything you copy with Oracle of Elune, and Teacher's Pet. So you can find yourself copying loads of beasts, summoning them, discounting your Matriarch. You can play Matriarch, copy it with Mark of the Spike Shell, and the copy costs 0 as well. So you've played a buffed Matriarch, and you've got another one in hand that you can just throw straight out there. Side note, currently the best version of this deck is apparently the one that runs Drekthar, and because I've put Greybow, Teacher's Pet, Matriarch in there, you can't actually do that with this deck. So it might well be that this actually turns out to be the incorrect list. So you're probably thinking, alright, fair enough, that makes sense, or come on. Can we give it a rest with the Iron Deep Trog? Well, no. I've got one more. I've got one more Iron Deep Trog deck. Handbuff Paladin. Again, buffs, multiplying your Iron Deep. It's not as important in this one. It just felt like it kind of fit, and this might be suboptimal. But I'm just trying to make a point about how great I think Iron Deep Trog is. In this deck, I've got Lightforged Cariel, because It's great at hand buffing, and it just generally seems great as well. Gives you a new win condition, gives you a bit of direct damage, gives you a way to survive against some of the combo decks. I've also got Satan the Scarlet, Hail Satan. He might well turn out to be great. Works with every single hand buff card, even works with the new Hold the Bridge that's in here as well. Everything that you play on him gets multiplied in its value. Just seems really good. It's another rush to add to the deck. This deck has always struggled when it falls behind. To that end, you might notice I've got 2 copies of Ram Commander in here. I think Ram Commander actually is low-key very strong in this deck. It adds 2 more cards to the hand. They're both got Rush. They both work really well with the hand buff synergies. It feels a lot like the old 2-mana 1/3 Rush that you get in Warrior that death rattles 2 1/1s. Except in this deck, you just get them straight away. I think I didn't cut any Divine Shields from this as well, so the Prismatic Jewel Kit should still be as consistent in this as it is in the normal deck. Except this time, you got a little bit more finishing power. Okay, fine. That's enough Iron Deep Trog. I have got one more deck that it doesn't go into. I think there's a really interesting multicaster burn Doomhammer Shaman that you can run day 1 and basically wipe out anyone who's playing Quest Warlock on day 1. Doomhammer Shaman already is somewhat favoured in that matchup. Well, now Doomhammer Shaman has a whole new draw package thanks to multicaster and the new package of frost spells and things that have been added to it. You've got Wind Chill, which you can get off of your Sleepbreaker. You've got Frostbite, which is a frost spell that can go face anyway. And on top of that, you pop in Primordial Studies as your arcane that gives you spell damage. It then makes all of your burn spells even better. And you can fit in the rest of the elemental package around that as well. Because Sleepbreaker is an elemental. This deck needed a 2-mana elemental to slip in and go in after Wailing Vapor when you weren't on the coin. And you didn't happen to hit Kindling Elemental off your mulligan. The whole thing is just a little bit more consistent now. There you go. Those are the 4 decks I think will be good day 1. Well, alongside the same 30 cards in Quest Warlock and Quest Shaman and Garrote Rogue and this expansion might not do a lot actually. Oh yeah, and like and subscribe. Blah.